Hi, I'm Mandeep. I'm the head of business development here at Winolo, based out of the San Francisco office. Business development really is just finding new ways to drive revenue for the company, whether that's through channel partnerships, uh, integrations, or by monetizing our software platform. Man, so I feel like my journey to Winolo started over a decade ago by accident. I was sort of burnt out working as a consultant for Ernst& Young in New York City, sick of living in airports and hotel rooms. And so I went to meet a recruiter named Mark Allen, who's still a dear friend, and told him a little bit about what I was looking to do, what my strengths are, what my interests are. And he paused and was kind of just like, "Hey, have you considered recruiting? I think you'd do well." Um, and I sort of looked at him sideways. With a blank stare. I knew nothing about recruiting, and in my head, I was like, "Recruiter? What would my parents think?" And I felt like he read my mind because he kind of just smirked and was like, "I know you probably don't know much about the industry, but here's the size, here's what we do. And by the way, you'll probably make 3 to 4 times the salary you're making right now." So he had my interest. And I decided to take a shot. Um, did well, enjoyed it. After my stint in working with Mark, I left the company, went overseas to grad school, met a founder of a consulting and executive search company focused on the hospitality industry, and opened the Las Vegas office for them when I came back to the States. From there, started my own executive search firm and recruiting agency, consulted for various HR tech companies and recruiting tech companies, and then tried my hand in building my own software company alongside my co-founder, Aaron, who's a brilliant engineer. He sort of saw what I saw, which was the recruiting and staffing industry was just so antiquated. There was not a lot of innovation. There was a lot of gaps for improvement. And so we put together this product, served a couple hundred customers. It was really a great journey. Eventually realized how hard it was to run this technology startup, and met with Winolo. And when I did that, it was amazing because I really saw that Winolo identified a similar opportunity to disrupt the traditional staffing industry and empower the workforce of the future. And their passion for helping people find opportunity and get jobs was shared. I mean, we agreed on so much of the philosophy, and that passion permeated the walls at Winolo. So, enjoyed the conversation. And now my most current role in BD, it really is the culmination of all of the skills that I acquired over the past couple of years, and my interests. And I'm super excited and grateful just to have the opportunity here to apply them. So when I have a tough decision to make, depending on the timeline, I like to sleep on the decision, let things sort of like process and synthesize in my head. And I also like to speak to 1 or 2 trusted contacts that can potentially have been in similar situations and can give me outside objective perspective. Um, Even if it's not advice that I'm going to follow, I think that process of saying the problem out loud and hearing myself talk and think through it really helps me get to the what I think or hope is the right decision. Um, and and then I balance that information with my gut and experience, and make the decision. I do always have to remind myself during that process that I've never been in a position yet where a decision I'm about to make is going to be the end of the world, or hurt somebody in any type of way. And so, ultimately, if it is the wrong decision, hopefully I've just learned from it and can apply that learning for the next time. So take time, speak to people, balance it with experience. I think this advice could be applied to life. I'll focus on career. I think one of the things that's really important is to play for the long game, um, but focus on the job that's at hand. So focus on what you're doing now. Um, it's very easy to kind of think about, your title, what you'd like it to be, how big your team is, what your peers are doing, how much they're earning, etc. And that ends up being a distraction. So what I found is if you apply yourself in the job that you're doing now, do it well, but keep your eye out open for opportunity, you'll always be the right person for the job. And because you have a track record. And the other thing about that is if you've done the jobs leading up to the job that you want to do, you've built a foundation. And if you skip any of those steps, you may be missing pieces that could really help you be that sort of inspirational leader if that's your goal. Because you'll be able to empathize with everyone on your team that's doing a job, right? And they'll be able to look up to you for that. So I think it's really important that you focus on the current task at hand. My manager at Winolo, Lori's been exceptional at inculcating that into me, and just really proving that this theory is a reality. If you do well, you look for opportunities, you will get the job. And I think the other piece to it is, as you're going through the process and doing the job at hand right now, try to have as much fun and be passionate about it as best as you can, because ultimately when you get that job and you reflect, as they say, the journey is the reward. If you knew me, you would know that I value my relationships with people above all. When I reconnect with an old friend or colleague, or build a new relationship that I'm excited about, it feeds my soul and brightens my day in a way that almost nothing else does.